It is the best show in town. It is the best LGBTQI issue. So darling, why haven't you subscribed? Monday to Thursday, bringing you breaking news wahala. On Friday, sex, education. And Saturday, burning questions. You know, all those questions you've been thinking of asking. Saturday is the day for you, darling. Ask your questions about religion, your questions about what you want to know about us, your question about anything. You can access anything on Saturdays doing burning questions. And you know one thing, you could to be the lucky winner to win our giveaways on Saturdays. And on Sundays, to crown it all, we have the market woman and shade girls. So darling, why do you want to miss out on all these interesting things? Help this channel by clicking the subscribe button.
It's your best LGBTQI show in the world. Breaking news wahala. We come back every time. We are stopping. And you know we do the best is back to back. Now, the news today, the International Lesbian Gay Intersex Association, ILGA, hosted the event recently during the past weekend, and they called different activists together. They came to discuss the future of rights moving forward worldwide and in Africa. And you know, on Q we talk, we always react to stories like that. Say, come on the stage and speak, just say that. But we are concerned, extremely concerned, that with truly this talking and this gathering together bring a change to the LGBTQI community in Nigeria. Basically, we are extremely concerned in Africa, most especially in Nigeria. I'm your host, Marvelous Kachafi, and I'm always joined by Chimerizi Henry Awunaya. I told us in Canada, Chimerizi. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Mr. Chef. I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing this morning?
So, Chimerizi, we saw what basically happened. First of all, ILGA was founded in the early, I think, 1978. I will check that out and be correct, but I know they've been founded for a long time ago. And they said they are committed. Their main aim is joining together lots of organizations together to make sure that human rights, LGBTQI rights, and LGBTQI human rights are upheld in many nations in the country. Now, many of our activists have gone to these meetings, spoken there. Do you feel like this will bring about any change? Or do you just feel like most of them just went there to just display themselves and show themselves to the world? Because like what somebody once said, I think you also said that too, that what we have these days are activists who are just the face, but rather not activists who talk about the cause or the plight of the community, but just activists who have got followers, who make themselves the face, who center themselves around issues, rather than activists who put issues at the front of the conversations in the world. What do you think is this a change in the world?
As long as we continue to have activists who have monetized activism and see activism as a career and a profit-making, milking machine, I don't think there will be change. Because like when you say activists, who are they agitating for? Where are the people they are agitating for? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves. Because somebody comes out today or has a similar plight of being a queer person, we all have experiences of being a queer person, being attacked, and we come out and we begin to voice what has happened to us, doesn't automatically make us activists. And I want us to understand that activism is not a name you just give to yourself. Activism is an action doing verb. That means you must be constantly agitating, constantly changing, constantly speaking on the plight of the people you are agitating for. So you could be an activist this year and next year you're not an activist because you have stopped your activism. That is one thing people need to understand. Now, to all our activists who have gone abroad and has this opportunity, we have talked for a long time. We've talked since 1978. You see, these people have been talking, and this is 2023. Darling, the question remains, what has happened all this while? You know, and that's the question you've been giving 5-10 years. What has changed? Talking will not change. We expect to see actions in this community. We want actions. Let's begin to see actions. Once they come back from these said conferences, what are the necessary steps they are going to take? How is this activism affecting, like I always say, the person living in Ajegule, the person living in Surulere, the person living in Port Harcourt, Diob, living in Owerri, living in Enugu? How will this help these people who don't have access to even a phone? You're getting, who doesn't even have access to proper education? How will this activism help us? How will this conference help us? Are we talking about relevant matters in these conferences? I've not seen videos. I don't know what is being said, but I've seen the caricature or protest they did, and I was really ashamed. So I know the level of IQ most of our activists have. Sorry to say, but from the caricature protest they held, I hope they are now serious and they are taking activism serious, because we need to talk about LGBTQ mothers, killings that have been happening, people who have been hospitalized, who have not seen justice. I'm really happy that we have a positive news from the US, where the news where an openly queer person was elected as in a position of the White House. I've forgotten the position she was elected to, but a lesbian was elected into a position of the White House,
I think it was
press.
press secretary. I
Yes,
think it was
press
press
secretary.
secretary. She was appointed. Yeah, she
Yes,
was.
she was appointed a press secretary. These are the actions. I've always said, if we want change, homophobes cannot change homophobic laws. We cannot beg homophobes to change homophobic laws. They are homophobes. That's who they are. That is who they will continue to be. So we need to attain power. We need to be in the legislative seats. We need to be in the political seats. We need to have godfathers and godmothers. So this organization should help this community, or how will I help this community, yes, and put people in power that we can be able to access political seats to make political decision, or make alliance, right? That's the word, with people who are in position of power, so that they can begin to
Allies.
sorry, allies,
Allies.
yeah, sorry, yeah, allies with people who are in position of power, so we can begin to see results in this community, with people who are in the police sector, so that the police can begin to investigate some of this there. If this conference can only bring justice for Dave, who was murdered in his house, kudos to our activists. Even if they don't do any other thing, no pata pata, they don't do any other thing, kudos to them. But if this is not a way forward, please, they should delete, erase, activism from their caricature. Over to you, Mr. Achafo.
See, for me, I've always said it most times and time again. What we have now is a system that seems to reward activists. That anybody that comes to activism, what the person is seeing is that, oh, I can make it go abroad. For me to japa, I need to escape. They see activism as an opportunity to get asylum. They see activism as an opportunity to marry a white man, heavily brainwash people. They see activism as an opportunity to get more properties. They see activism as an opportunity to acquire wealth. They don't see activism as something that, oh, I need to get involved, I need to challenge the system, I need to make sure that I put the system to a standstill wherever I go. Activism is different. You might be abroad. I want to just give the benefit of the doubt to those that are abroad. But if you are in abroad, how far are you making activism work? An LGBTQI activist that truly cares about you, if you cannot fight in Nigeria here, most of our politicians travel abroad. They do events abroad, they attend events. How can an activist not say, okay, fine and good? What I would make sure is that I'm an activist based in, let's say, New Zealand. Any politician I meet, a Nigerian senator, lawmaker I meet in New Zealand, I will be checking list of Nigerian lawmakers, be monitor. Any of them I meet in New Zealand, I will engage them, question them, and I'm going to get the camera rolling. Question them, asking them, showing them videos of what's happening to community members, and asking them, sir, what are you doing about this? It's in a foreign land, they can't beat you up, they can't arrest you. They will be forced to answer. And if you can do it to one or two or three senators, so they begin to wonder, truly, this LGBTQI law, does it truly favor the people of Nigeria? They are using it to harm people. Showing them what's with the community. But no, that's not the kind of activity we have. The kind of activity we have is wasted activism. 20 million naira. Look, let me just cap it at 50 million naira can end the keto crisis in Nigeria. 50 million can end the keto crisis. I tell anybody to come and tell me that that is a lie. 50 million on ground, investing in community policing, LGBTQI community, will end the keto crisis in Nigeria. The money spent on Nigerian activists for this event might be more than that. You might be surprised. The money they spent charged to come and do a talk shop, talking, and the talking doesn't. Most of us are getting tired. Talking might, but when money gets involved, we expect the money to be spent wisely, to be spent in elevating the community. But no, that's not what we see. Since 1978 till now, the organization was founded in 1978. How have they made sure that human rights is upheld? Now, let me use this example. In foreign countries like New Zealand, Canada, China, Denmark, and the rest of them. No, let me move China. Let me use European countries. Switzerland, because the headquarters of this ilga is in Switzerland. Countries like Switzerland, for example, the LGBTQI harm there, or the LGBTQI, what's the word? Madness going on there, the homophobe madness. Let me use the word homophobe madness going on. It's an elevated level madness where they are using 21st century technology, where they are using 21st century gadgets, where they are using 21st century mechanism. Most of the people that are serial killers, gay serial killers, or homophobes or there are using 21st century dark webs, hackers, because they have the 21st century mindset in their brain. So it makes it harder to provide justice. Not any roadside person will just come and kidnap somebody. No, they will deal with you mercilessly. So they have to up their game. But in Africa here, especially here in Nigeria, we have all these dwarf Mickey Mouse homophobes, Mickey Mouse ketos who have the audacity, who even carry your phone to make transfer, use your ATM card to withdraw money. How senseless can somebody be? Leaving digital footprint all over the place. People that can easily be chased. And yet we cannot find an issue. We cannot solve this madness going on. It's just very terrible. And it shows that truly, I begin to question that truly when we start to get activism right, there is no universal standard for activism. I think we have to start looking at African ways to pure activism. And one of those African ways is by engagement, is by valuing together, is by community policing. But all what we have now is the Western way. Oh, they feel like they are in, when you are in California or else what, America, you are deceived. You think the same American rights, the standard is the same standard for Nigeria. It's very, very funny. It's just, I just wish that we get it right and we start having view conversations and start looking at real lasting solutions and not all this paper talk, paper this, engagement this, conference this. After the conference now, I would like to see how human rights in Nigeria will be forward. I would truly like to see it. But I'm not a doomsday prophet, but I've always said it. If we keep on putting square pegs in round holes, we can never move forward as LGBT community members. Timothy, your final words in a few seconds, I will call this around.
I think we should do more action, less talking. That's what this community needs. We've heard all the gospel. We've heard all the gospel. Now it's time for the works. So our activists who have gone there abroad, please, I beg you, just let our activism be out of love, compassion, out of our heart, that we truly care for the people that we speak for. And that there's no way you can pretend about that. There's no way you can preach about that. There's no way you can tell somebody how to do that. If your activism is not pure, if your activism is not out of love, you will see you will still be doing all the selfish things. So to our activists who are abroad, please speak on this slide. LGBT killings, there is nothing more important. We've had stories of them beating them till they faint. We have stories of them giving them substance till they pass on. We have stories of them even digging shallow graves and burying community members. So I don't know if you are not speaking about these matters that has been going on for 4 years now. Then what the fuck are you talking about? So that, sorry for the foul language, but make sure you continue to like, subscribe, and go to our GoFundMe. Support our activism. Help us. Let us help the people's stories you've been hearing. You can verify all the stories we've talked about. These people are real. They are not actors. These are real human beings with real situation, with real cases. Let us put our dollars in our community. Let us build our community together.